Little brown girl, you are so beautiful to me. I hope you see. Hey,
hi guys, my name is Tamika Newhouse, best-selling author of Sugar Hill and the publisher of Delphine Publications, and you are tuned to Traces of Mika Season 2, The Other Side of Healing. Howdy guys, Tamika Newhouse here, and I am joined with fellow entrepreneurs and single mothers for episode 4 of Traces of Mika. I want to explore my own journey as a mother and an entrepreneur with Melody and Monica this evening, so that you guys can kind of give me some encouragement. I give you some encouragement. We talk about our experiences, our joys, our highs, our lows, and hopefully someone kind of gets inspired or ignite some ideas for them. So first of all, thank you ladies for joining me. So I'm going to allow you ladies to give us a little bit more of your background. Our common denominators here is we are entrepreneurs, we own businesses, we are mothers, we're Black women. But take us a little bit into exactly who you are, what you do. Melody, you can go first.
So my name is Melody. I own a boutique PR firm here in Atlanta, based in Atlanta. I have been a publicist, honestly, for about 1.5 years now. Okay. But I have worked with some amazing people, including Kool Moe Dee, Mayetta Shaw, Ebony Electra, did some work with Kenny Burns, Q Parker. There's a great upcoming rapper, DJ the Rapper, with Lil Boosie's label.
Okay, all right.
A lot of different things. I am a single mom. I have two small children, a pair of 3-year-old twins.
Ooh, Lord. 3-year-old twins.
That is.
Okay, yes.
3-year-old twins.
Go ahead and sip up. I know you need a little Jesus. 3 and 2.
No,
2 of them.
They're both 3 years old.
Gotcha.
Boy and a girl. And I have a 10-year-old. My 10-year-old also owns a company. He's a photographer.
Okay.
And he's an actor.
Love it. So you get him started early.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that. And my son kind of identifies with that journey too. Mm-hmm. Like I got him started in my path of kind of seeing my own journey by bringing him on the road with me. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of in turn just ignited his own little entrepreneurial journey himself. So I guess that's kind of like a given there.
Right.
Mo, take me and, I know a little bit about you, but for folks who do not know who you are, take us a little bit into your journey, what you do.
So, my name is Monica Elam. They call me Mo. I've been in entrepreneurship for a very long time. So it may have started in owning like business like UPS store and things of that nature. However, I got more into the entertainment business. So I do have a management consulting company. I also do producing. So I'm producing a couple episodes right now for a network. I also am an on-air radio personality. I've been in radio for over 12 years now. So I was in DC, now I'm in Atlanta. So I have an array of things. I'm an author.
Right.
So
that's how we met.
Right. That's how we met. She Tamika kind of inspired me at that point, really? As far as, remember I contacted, we'll go over that later, but I contacted her, when I wrote my first book, I contacted her in regards to some consulting, and you told me the steps by steps of what to do. Mm-hmm. So from there, I wrote a book, I've written scripts, and things of that nature just kept growing. I do have 3 children. I have 2 daughters and a son. One of them is in acting. I do have a stepson. He's a producer and a director in LA. So our family's very well rounded in the, movie industry. So I'm just looking to put my movies out there, and I just do me all the time.
So you're still creating, and I know your children are of age now, but I'm pretty sure you have a lot of stories that I could probably currently living now as far as trying to juggle their growth and, and their influence and, guiding them. I'm in the middle grade age with my son. My daughter is turning 18, so I got like a grown woman now. So it's like, I'm in a different space. So take me ladies into your journey, how you balance both, because parenting for me is, I ain't too much all the way enjoy because I did it by myself for the most part. I didn't really have a really good, strong partnership in it. So I'm really curious to, learn about you ladies, how you kind of juggle both of it. Did you take your children on the road with you? Like how was that? Well, take me to that place.
Well, I could start. So, in the midst of doing all this, like I probably was overprotective.
Okay.
So I took my kids everywhere I went, no matter what I was doing. I made sure they were there. I made sure that they knew what I was doing, to the point where they were like, Mom, I don't care about this. Like, this is what you want to do. It's not what we want to do. We want to go out and have fun. So I think for me, I had to take a step back and kind of take responsibility and ownership of what's important to me, what's going to be beneficial to them and important to them, and kind of merge them together to the point where let's split the time. You know what I mean? Let's do what mommy wants to do, but it's still going to help you grow with the stuff that you want to do. Right. So for instance, learning how to run a business, learning how to do different things, learning how to take phone calls, learning how to talk to people, learn how to make yourself present in, deals, and learning how to say, accept no's and yeses will help you as far as anything that you're trying to, catapult in your life, whether going to high school, going to college, getting out there on your own. So it kind of puts you at that level where they're like, oh, I saw my mom do that. So now I know how to do that. And it also, in the beginning, I just felt like a lot of times I was a little bit too overprotective with bringing it. So my kids were like, they didn't want to do it. They didn't understand it. So now, years later, they appreciate it. Like the oldest daughter, she's getting into acting. She said, I know what it's about now. And I appreciate it, and I watch you. I didn't appreciate when you were doing it because I felt like I didn't have all of my mom. So when you were on the radio and you were going to DC, I didn't, you were gone, you know what I mean? Or you took us and we were here and I just had to sit in the back. She said, I didn't get my mom. She said, but now I understand the grind and the hustle.
Definitely.
I'm waiting for that conversation. I haven't had that. Still waiting for that where she get it. They understand there's their appreciation. So I'm not there yet. So I'm excited for you. So there is lights at the end of the tunnel.
You know what? People think it's not. I think that there's a light at the end of every tunnel. There's a light. It's just how fast you get to the light. Because a lot of people, you have blockages are going the way. So someone's thinking, I can't do it. And they turn around and start going backwards. So now you're not going to the end of the tunnel. You're going back to the dark part. You're going back to where you started from. You're not trying to see the light. But if you keep moving and just feel, you know what, I can do it. It doesn't matter what that person says, that person. That's what we get in depth with, what other people say.
Yes.
Because what other people say stops you.
Yes.
It doesn't.
It definitely
How many times has
influences
someone
what
told
do.
you that you couldn't do something, or I thought that was a bad idea? You take a moment, you go, you might be right. Let me pause for a minute. Had you kept going, you would have saw something else.
Something different. Melody, take me to your space.
So my situation is a little different. My 10-year-old has never really seen me work outside of my own company.
Gotcha.
Before I was a publicist, I was a natural hairstylist.
Okay.
So I was always available for him. School things, I've never missed it. I was always on PTA, blah, blah, blah. Well, fast forward to, I was kind of forced into single motherhood.
Okay.
I am a survivor of domestic violence. And one morning I woke up and I had a 2-parent household and it was 5 of us. Went to bed that night. I was a single mom.
Gotcha.
So it was almost like having to jump from one to another, and I didn't have a chance to really say, okay, what am I going to do? It was like, you have to figure it out. Your kids are looking at you, they're watching. My babies were 1. They had just turned a year old a month before. And so here I was stuck with these 2 1-year-olds and an 8-year-old. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do?
Right.
So I've always been a writer. I literally started out writing. My mom and I are pen pals. I told you this already. My mom and I are pen pals when I was in the 1st grade. And she really pulled that writer out of me. She would always say, oh, you write so well. You read so well. So I've always been a writer. And so a good friend of mine, she said, hey, I think I want you to be my publicist. And I was like, what is that? I had no idea. I grew up in a small town in Alabama. And she said, I want you to be my publicist because you're really, really good at writing. And I was like,
Okay.
Google what a publicist is, So what in the world is this?
Google's our friend.
Yeah, this was 2018. And she said, I want you to help me with an event. And I said, okay, that's no problem. And then another guy that we know from there, he's a rapper. He wanted me to write a bio for him. And then he said, I want you to write up something that'll let me interview. I'm thinking, what? Of course, it's a press release and it's a pitch. No idea what those even were. I Googled the format of those and okay. All right. Okay. So now I'm a publicist, right?
Okay.
I got one of my mentors here in Atlanta. He's a well-known publicist here. And that is where my career catapulted, like that. Now with my children, it's very interesting because they have had to learn that mommy is not going to always be home.
Right.
Not always going to be there. My 10-year-old, he really had a hard time at first. He would say, Mom, I really missed you. You're gone all day or you're gone all night. Or we have a nanny now and she would pick him up from school and they would come home and he would be like, I didn't see you all night. You didn't, where were you? And so when he got older, I explained more to him, whatever. But as he's gotten older, he understands now, okay, well, Mom has to work. This is how the house is taken care of. Yep. I want all these great things. I want this new camera and all this great stuff. And so I'm going to make sure that, I help. My 10-year-old is, I could have asked for a better kid.
It sounds like my son.
Oh my gosh.
I think my son was maybe 3 years old and he came into my room and I was packing up. I was going to another event. At this point, I think I was maybe 23, 24. And I was like at the height of my book career. Every weekend I was somewhere. Every month I was definitely catching a flight. Doing book signings and basically just enjoying this time. Mm-hmm. And he was upset. He came in and he was like, why are you leaving again? Why can't I go? And he was about 3 then, too small to really take on the road. And I explained to him, well, Mama has to go, you like Burger King. So I have to go get you some Burger King money. Mm-hmm. And so when I told him that, he was like, oh, okay. And he just understood, like it was okay then. And then I told him, I let him know when you get older, maybe by like 5 or so, I'm going to start taking you on the road with me. And he's been on the road ever since. Junior can outsell almost any author that I know. Wow. Like I would take him to festivals. He's 5, 6 years old. He'll grab my books and he would just talk to every single person that will walk by. Sell it. He could tell you what it's about. Mm-hmm. He'd tell you how much it is. He would direct you over to the table. He's like 6, like doing this. And so he used to outsell everybody. So me and Junior used to hit the road. That's my dude. That's my dude. So I really found a way to kind of make it work a little bit with my children by just bringing them into my space. But listening to your story, Melody, kind of reminds me of my story just a little bit on how I even became a single mother. Yes. I don't think nobody wakes up, well, we used to didn't. Like now it seems like people have babies as an accessory bag. But back then, nobody really wanted to be a single mother. We weren't trying to have no baby by ourselves.
Right.
Well, I'll say this. I was married for over 15 years. I was with him for 20. So, similar stories. It's crazy, a little similar. So when I decided to leave, we decided to get a divorce. You do wake up and say, okay, where are we going now? What do you do from here? Because that's your support system. Mm-hmm. That, if you are picking him up, he's picking him up, or, he's preparing dinner, whatever it is, financially, whatever, businesses are running, everything is going, and it's like your support system. But when the bottom falls out, that's where, for me, was different, because I've always been fortunate enough. I had a 2-parent household. I grew up with a 2-parent house. My grandparents 2-parent. So for me, I had this whole thing, like, even though you may have been abusive, I'm not going anywhere. The parents stay together forever. I will just walk around, not say anything. And I think for me, like once it happened, for that 2 years, I lost myself into, I don't know who my kids are. I don't know who you are. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I didn't want to hear anything. I didn't want to see anybody. I stayed from work to in the bed. Yep. So that part of my life was like gone. Like, I don't even remember, like, those 2 years. I can't tell you what happened.
I haven't been there.
So, I said it to say, you know, similar situations for people who get out of domestic situations, why they don't leave or however the case may be. But I had a good friend that kind of called me one day and was just like, this is not you. You know, you've always been that independent person, strong. Like, what is your problem? And she had to give me a reality check to the point where I sat there and cried for like 2 days because I had to check myself. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm hurting my kids. And that's something that I never, ever wanted to do. Amongst that, I was hiding from my mom, from my dad, from my sisters, from people, you know. And I would go out, I would go to family functions, smile, and they'd be like, you good? I'm good. Inside, I was ripped apart. So I've been writing poetry ever since I was 9 years old. And I think like that next 6 months after that too, I just started writing everything. Like just started writing down everything that I felt, everything. Till it afforded me to, like, my friends was like, okay, let's do this radio thing. I'm like, I don't want to be on the radio. Like, I don't want people to hear me. I don't want anybody to hear anything about me. But I felt like doing it was for me, it's therapy. So I was able to, and the funny part about it is, you know, I have a degree in psychology, so it's like I should be able to therapize my darn self. I can therapize anybody
But
do that, but I can't therapize myself. But being on the radio helped me help other people, but it helped me too. Like, it helped me come out and say exactly what happened in my marriage. Exactly taking accountability, you know, for things that had happened. It was my fault or his fault. Or even saying, like, you know, you actually did put your hands on me.
Yeah.
Never said that before. No one ever knew. You know, just kind of kept it, you know, to myself. Never said anything. But it allowed me to have those therapeutic moments. We even named part of the show Most Therapeutic Moments, where I would just go in. You know what I mean?
Just going.
Just go in and just therapize and just let it all out.
And I think I did the same with my own writing. Like, even my book here, Cookie, A Fort Worth Story, is based off of my own, like from like high school on up to early 20s, on just the choices and the experience I went through. But writing it was therapy for me, just to be able to get it out. Because sometimes when we live it, but we don't really deal with it, face it, heal from it, get through it, we kind of just keep moving forward. So writing has always been therapy for me. Melody, I know you said you also, you wrote, so take us into some of your writing.
So, you know, and it's funny how when she said about, you know, you hiding from people, I became a single mom August 2018. From August to December, I went like a slow downward spiral. I was depressed.
Right.
The week after I became a single mom, I totaled my car. So now I have to figure out, okay, I got this, you know, my broken ribs and all this kind of stuff. Okay, what am I going to do? And we don't have any family here.
You was going through it.
I really was. And I kept thinking in August, for the past, since 2015 August has always been a rough month for me. And I was like, oh, God, here's August. And all these things happen. I'm like, oh, my God, August. You know, so I always associate literally the month of August to like,
Dooms is coming.
What's going to happen?
Doomsday.
You know, so I vaguely remember, like you said, it's kind of hard now to think about and say, oh my God. I remember waking up, of course, you know, my 10-year-old, he was 8. He turned 9. He would make them breakfast. I taught him how to cook eggs. He'd make them eggs. Lunch, I would say, whatever you want to eat. Uber Eats it, I'll get it. Okay, whatever. Dinner, what do you want to eat? I'll have it delivered.
Right.
They ate pizza probably about a week for about a whole, maybe a week and a half for dinner. For lunch, they ate some of everything. Whoever would deliver.
Right.
I got up to use the bathroom. My babies were potty training, so I would get up to change them if they had accidents, and I would get in my bed. I did not go anywhere. I wore sweats. My hair was kind of like whatever. I didn't care. You know, and I knew I had to pull this together, but the more I fell into that hole, I kind of pulled myself out and put myself in at the same time. And it was like a struggle within myself. Like, I don't want to tell anybody because it's embarrassing.
Yeah. I
can't tell my mom because, you know, I'm the middle child. And so it's always like you're the most independent and you're strong. Yep. How did you let this happen to you? I can't believe you let this happen to you. Mm-hmm. And now she never said that, but I know that is what I would have gotten. You know, what? Why didn't you tell us? Well, how did you let this happen? How did you stay? Why would you stay? You know, in a situation like that. I didn't tell anybody. My best friend called me, and it's funny you say that about your friends because they know you. My best friend lives in Alabama, 3 hours away in Dothan, Alabama. And she was like, I don't like this. And I was like, what, girl? You know, like, and she said, you are so funny. You so cool on Facebook, on Instagram. But when I call you, you are totally different. You just bust out crying. And she was like, that's not you at all. And I would just say, hey, Kari, you know, just bust out in tears. And she was like, wait, you know. And I would say, no, my back hurts from that accident in August. And she was like, yeah, whatever. So she literally called me. She said, how are you feeling? I said, I don't feel like my kids don't deserve me. And I said, the only thing that's keeping me here is my children because I know I can't leave them here by themselves. And I told her, I said, they don't deserve me as their mom. And she said, well, Mel, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice, friend. You have to get yourself together. And if you need me to help you, I'm there. But your kids need you. Who else? She said, nobody's going to do you like to those kids. Nobody's going to take care of those kids like you do. Nobody's going to spoil them like that. Nobody's going to handle them like that. And I told her, I said, you know what, you're right. And so she said, you need to get it together or I'm coming up there.
And did you get it together?
And I got it together. I didn't have a choice because I didn't want her coming on.
I need that one friend.
No, not at all. And I said, I need you. If I call you, I need you, friend. But I got it. She was like, no.
But I think a lot of people, we as women, we try to be strong. Because we do have kids. You know, we try to, put on the facade that everything is good. But people don't understand, like, when you're breaking inside, a lot of times you want to kind of deal with it yourself first because you want to know what to say to somebody.
Right.
Just like you said, you just went into a hole. During my time, my mom had passed. Like my mom passed, and that's what led me to do it. Because my mom passed of cancer, and right before, like, she took her last breath, she told me, I don't know what you're going to do. I'm not going to be here, but you're stronger than what you think. And I think that you need to, exit stage left. Just so many words. And I just took that I don't have time to listen to this right now. My mom is, she's dying. Like, You're telling me this. But the light bulb does go off after a certain amount of time, and you realize, like, this is it. And for me, like, I didn't have anybody to talk to after that. Like, you can't tell your sister. Right. My dad, I talk to my dad a lot, but he's a man, he doesn't, he's like almost, stop crying. I just want you to understand. I'm going to be here for you. Whatever you need. I ain't trying to hear that. Like, I need more. Like, I need something else, And, so you take for what it was, and the only people you can lean on is your kids. But you got to be strong at the same time. You sitting there, like, faking it, like, I'm good.
And they would come in my room and just sit.
Right.
And we didn't have the TV on. We didn't have anything on. And my little baby said would come and just lay their heads on me. And my girl would say, Mom, are we okay, Mom? Are we okay? And I always tell them, it's us. It's the four of us. That's it. That's all we got. It's just, we got to take care of each other. And he would come in my room and he would say, are we okay? I was like, yeah, we're all right. He was like, you mean do anything for you? No, I'm okay. We'll make you some eggs? No, I'm okay. That was his thing. He loves eggs to this day. He's like, you some eggs? You cool? I'm like, no, I'm okay. But I literally had to be okay because I saw they were starting to be, it was affecting them.
And I want to ask both of you ladies this question because this is something that I struggle with. Just a lot of my stories align with you guys as far as my mother passing, dealing with violence and abuse and being betrayed. I had to kind of work through those emotions, but while being a mother. And you know how they say we got to be strong, we can't seem weak, and we can't even appear to be weak because our children are there. Like, we don't have the time, nor are we given the time or the chance to just be or to cry or to be in that space of just weakness where we need a moment.
Yes.
I struggled with that for a long, long, long time on keeping up that strong persona. Like year by year, a little bit more would chip away, and I got weaker and weaker and weaker till I just had like this complete breakdown. Mm-hmm. And I feel that your children, they get the great parts of you, but they also get some of your bad parts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And especially when they are in your care 24/7, they're exposed to all of you. Mm-hmm. Versus when there are other parents that's not in the house, they get to just say hi, bye, and they don't get to be held accountable for anything. Mm-hmm. So, and I had to work my way through that too. Mm-hmm. Like, wait a minute, this ain't fair. I ain't signed for that.
It causes
it's not
resentment.
fair.
It causes resentment.
It does. Mm-hmm. And so I had to work through that as well because I'm not human. I'm not a robot. I'm doing my best. And I'm doing bad. Like, it's always something. Like, if I do this, okay, then I have to go here just to be the best mom or be present, not miss, any school activities, make sure they go to the best schools and, just making sure your children have way more than you have. So my question to you is, do you have that same fear or did you have that same fear or where you felt that your children were exposed to those negative sides of you that you could do, like,
right.
They saw it. Like,
I always say, I never want my kids to grow up needing therapy from how their childhood was.
Right.
And I try my hardest to show, I'm a whole different person than I was until 18. I show my emotions and I really don't care how people feel about it. I'm very emotional, obviously. But
that's good that you do that.
Yes.
I struggle with that too. I couldn't cry for nothing. Now I can cry.
My kid, I tell them, hey, if you need a break, if you need a minute, now it's just, like I said, it's just the four of us. And my babies are 3 and my oldest is 10. So that's a huge age gap. He gets along with them really well, but then at the same time, he wants to be away. Right. So I do tell him, hey, if you need a minute from us, let me know. Mom, if you want to take a second, if you don't feel well about something, I don't feel comfortable. I'll let him know that it's okay to express those feelings. I'm not going to always be strong. Your mom is not a superwoman, period. And I will let him know that, he would say, Mom, is this fair that you're always doing things for us? And I would tell him, absolutely not.
How nice that he asked that question, though. Like,
he
for
is
him to just ask and be aware of that.
He's very aware, especially of my feelings. He would say, Mom, is this fair? Or he would sometimes say, you're just moving too fast. You need to take a break. You know what? You're right. I'm going to take a nap. And I'll go to my room and I'll take a nap. But he does ask often. He'll say, is this fair that it's just you? Because I know that it'd probably be a little bit easier if we had help. And I would say, you know what? You're absolutely right. It's not fair. However, this is not a job I'm going to give up on. I'm going to make sure that you guys have everything you guys need. They really have all they want. But they have everything they need, everything. But at the same time, he does work for the things that he has. So it's not just like, at one point I felt like I had to give him gifts to kind of overcompensate for being the only parent.
Yeah.
And give him extra, just go out my way, just wild stuff, But he understands now that you have to work for these things.
Yeah.
Like I do. He does his chores and when he comes along with me now and he does his little photography. And he's doing a really good job with it, but he gets paid. I pay him if the client doesn't. But the clients have been paying, so.
That's good. That's a beautiful journey that y'all going on. I love that.
Thank you.
It's good. Well, take me to your space as far as those ugly moments that you felt that were out of your control that your children were exposed to.
I had quite a few. I think for me, like now, my son is 25. And during that whole time, he was like in high school and stuff. So, he's seen it as, that's my mom. If someone makes my mom cry, if someone does something to my mom, they got a problem with me. And I'm going to deal with it. That kind of,
Right.
To the point where I think with my son, he's a no-nonsense person. Like, he's like, okay, I know women cry. Okay, I know they get emotional. I know you're supposed to talk about it. but he's more like a solutionary type person. Let's find ways to make these things work. Let's find ways to make you happy. Let's find ways to, not overboard. Like no other man can come in here and make you happy. I'm talking about me. Let's find ways to make you happy. So I have like 3 different versions, like my son is very protective and, like in me now dating, like he's like, I don't care who he is. You don't need, I love you. What do you need? I love you. Don't need nobody telling me you need love. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Mama needs love.
Right.
You got me. Yeah, but you got a whole fiance with it. You got me, Mom. You don't need. So that's one spectrum. Then my oldest daughter, who's 27, that she took more of it, like took more of me, going through it because she was right there by my side. Mom, anything I could do, I wish I could make you feel better. I wish I could take it away from you. So she took everything on because then she was taking care of her brothers and sisters while I was, in Pluto somewhere. Okay. So now she feels like she does have she does say periodically, back then I just think that you didn't understand how much you was putting on me. Because you were doing, you were in your own little space in your feelings. And she'll say something, so I'm in my feelings now because she's going through something. I'm in my feelings now, so I need you to address and take care of it. Right, the youngest one, she was a little bit, she's in college now, but she was at that age when that was going on. She was too young to know about it. Right. She just knows like the good stuff. So she just has no recollection or anything. So when things happen, she's sitting there like, I kind of told y'all your lesson. She's sitting there like, you got it. Just take care of it. I ain't got time. I got 2 parents. They're great. They get along now. Hey, I need love. I need this. I need that. What's up? So she doesn't know when her sisters and brothers say, yo, mommy was tripping back then. What?
Y'all tripping.
He was tripping back then. So, but I take every experience as a learning lesson. And every experience, because I even started a foundation like 6 years ago. And it was for single moms. It was for women of color that actually needed someone to talk to. And we would meet, and we had like seminars, and we would meet twice a week, and we would have a seminar.
Twice a week?
Twice a week.
Wow.
Oh,
and we would have a seminar like every 6 months where all the ladies came together, and we did monologues. That's how monologues of what they felt. So they would do like 2 to 3 minutes monologues of any experience they had from the last time. So everyone could sit and talk to them and kind of, pour into them. Like, we're all sisters here. Yeah. Tell us about what happened. And they would just do a monologue.
And that's so needed. So important.
And it helped. Because a lot of stuff you would see and people would pour into that. People were, they were waiting for this. Like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell y'all exactly what happened. So just think about it. You're doing, the first time, because I had to be the first one to do a monologue, it takes you back. It's a lot. It's draining. So you go back to everything that ever happened within that time period. But again, when you think about it and you are kind of purging all of that, you're letting it all out. So when you do that, and people are there that have been in the same situation, or there's someone there that you can relate to, that can give you advice, you feel a whole lot better. That's why I'm always, I'm always like, I can help you.
This is true.
Anyway, Tamika, you know me. I just, every time I'm like, what is it that you need? You need to talk? You need something?
This is true.
I got you. Like, I find myself kind of taking on that more of that we talked about before, taking a lot of that on with various people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm taking on to the point where, but then when they start crying and stuff, then I'm like, okay, I don't want to take myself that far in emotion, but I want to be there enough and give you some advice where you understand, like, it's going to be okay. It may not seem like that today, but it's going to be all right.
So, my ladies, take me into your entrepreneurial journeys. You tell me about some of the things that you do. But how has that been even now? So take me to your space now. I know most of your children are older and they're kind of navigating through life and discovering themselves. Mine is aging. Likewise, soon will be discovering themselves. Melody, you got a long time to go. But in any event, take us into your space now. What are you guys doing? And how does that, overlap in, your motherhood, that journey?
It ain't overlap nothing, because I'm just...
You living your best life.
She's like, wait up. Right now, I'm living my best life. I am free as a bird now, but I'm still I'm still a mother, no matter what. I'm still getting calls. I'm still, Mom, I need to talk to you. Mom.
And do y'all talk every day?
Okay, so my youngest one that's in college, 5 times a day, 20 times a day. She FaceTimes. She probably was FaceTime right now, like trying to say. She FaceTime like it's like an addiction, to the point where sometimes I don't answer. I pick up and say, "Can you give me a minute? I'll call you back." My son, I try to call my son because I know he's going through. He's engaged. I want him to enjoy that. Mm-hmm. He'll call me like, "You ain't call me today." All right, so it could be every other day with him.
Okay.
My oldest daughter. It was every day in the morning because we kind of picked up with me and my mom. Me and my mom used to talk every morning before I went to work. So we kind of talk before she goes to work. And she goes, how you doing, how the day. And then that could be it. But then in the evening, it could be every 2 days or whatever. But if I don't call them or they see the activity on social media, they on my phone. Hello, what you doing? What are you up to? Where you going? Or if they see something, where you going now? Where are you? That kind of thing. Even to the point where, and it's even my friends too, it's more or less, I'm living my best life. Mm-hmm. I'm creating projects. I am assisting, artists. I'm writing stuff. I'm having a great time,
That's nice.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm good. I don't need anybody I'm good right now.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I'm real good. I'm real good,
Oh, gosh. That's a topic for another episode.
I'm just saying, you'll get there. You'll get to... It took a long time to get to that point, but once you get there, it's so beautiful.
Well, I can't wait. I'm patiently waiting. So take me to your day. So how is it looking currently right now?
I feel like I just kind of fall into different things.
Okay.
Like I said, I've always been a writer, and I kind of fell into screenwriting. Weird. Okay. A couple of months ago, I'm in this group, and this guy was like, "Hey, I'm looking for people to help me write this documentary," and I'm like, "Okay," and he was like, "Oh my God, your work is..." So it literally went from there, and then I'm writing a script for my own story. And it's crazy because it was like I never thought I would do this. I have a degree. I have a degree in education.
Right.
I wanted to be an elementary school teacher.
I was doing that too.
And now I'm like, what was I thinking? I wouldn't. But
I would have not been a great teacher.
Me either.
I don't have patience.
And I have the patience. I think there's so many different, so much different politics in education now.
Yes, nowadays definitely. Yes.
I wanted to do things like, oh guys, today this is going to be dinosaur theme week. But they don't do that.
Yeah, that type of teacher.
Yeah, not like the SAT teaching. They teach for the test.
Just now. Workbooks. Mm-hmm. Just hand them workbooks, yeah.
So now I do all these different things. I try when I'm pitching my clients, I do all my pitching and emailing at night when my kids are asleep, and I save them as drafts. So in the morning, 8 o'clock, I'm just pressing send.
Well, Google lets you schedule your emails.
Really?
Yes. So you don't have to do that anymore. So take that step out of your day
I can get some sleep.
Schedule. It's in it. Email me. I'm gonna show you.
Yes, I definitely will.
So schedule your emails. That way you ain't got to get up to make sure it goes out. Because I'll be setting if I'm going on vacation, I'll get all my work done and I'll have emails going out while I'm on vacation.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And I'm always like, 8 o'clock.
Nope, you ain't got to do it anymore.
I try to spend a lot of time with my kids, as much time as I can. Because I know that during the week, Monday through Friday, I'm literally gone. Juggling different things, working with different artists and different, people in general. So when I do have downtime, it's like, phone off, computer closed. Let's play Uno.
I bet. So you find a way to juggle.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm quick
manage.
to say, hey, I'm going to take a bath. And then my baths are like 3 hours long.
That's me too. You got some
Are we twins? I will take a infused bath in a heartbeat. Like, oh, obviously I'm a couple hours. I'm like, okay, don't interrupt. Do not knock on my door.
That is like the long time. That is something that I make sure I have to do on a daily basis.
Yep.
So, ladies, I know we got to wrap up. This has been wonderful being able to learn more about your journey as a mother and an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I definitely want to commend you, ladies, on your journey. Mo for getting through, Melly for maintaining, and myself for maintaining, because it's not easy. It's really one of the most complex and fulfilling and most challenging experiences I think I'm gonna probably ever take. Like, I'm still trying to, let go and not be so paranoid about my children's safety and who they talking to, and did I teach them enough? Is she safe? Like, I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to just so y'all pray for me. But in any event, ladies, tell everybody where they can find you, your social media, your websites, all that jazz.
I almost said something funny, but I knew this was like comedic hour.
You always trying to talk something.
So you can find me on any.
Okay, so let's close it out with we have a question from our producers.
Oh,
what advice would you give like single mothers that are trying to like navigate and balance? Like, what was the easiest things that you guys kind of did to be able to balance yourselves and motherhood and being an entrepreneur?
For me, I have no family here, so I've had to create a family.
So for the best, the best way for me, I'm saying to repeat the question inside of your answer. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So the best way for me to balance motherhood and balance being an entrepreneur was to create the family that I needed for myself and for my kids. We have no family in the area. Our closest family is about an hour and 15 minutes away in Columbus. So I have had to reach out to people I know. My neighbor, she's really good. Our nanny, we met her at the YMCA.
Oh, wow.
We were YMCA members, and she was like, she worked at the counter, and she would keep them during like in the little play area. And so one day I said, "Do you babysit? By any chance? Because you love my babies, and will you babysit for me?" She was like, "Oh my God, yes." And so that grew into her being my nanny. And I have other babysitters, just other moms that I know that are in the area that we just literally say, "Hey, can you watch them for a couple of hours, or can I just come over, or can we just all kind of meet up somewhere?" And so it has really helped building a network of people who I trust.
Yeah. I did the same when I moved here 8 years ago, because my family's all the way in Texas.
Wow.
So I didn't have anybody here, and I have like a built-in family of people that I trust with my space, my children, my secrets. So I'm with you. Like, if you do not have immediate family, then you can actually build one. Like, it's building relationships and taking the time and getting to know them. So that is my biggest advice. And then I have like this journal that I actually open up on a daily basis. And then my Google Calendar on my phone goes off every day, several times a day. So I just keep myself organized in that way. And not just for work, but for personal things too. If I gotta, do an errand, if I got an appointment, if Junior has something to do, if I have a school activity with the kids, like, it's all in there. So being organized, and then definitely building my own family.
I think for me, balancing, the advice that I would get for single moms is don't be selfish. Again, with me, Tamika knows time management is very important. I have OCD, so I document everything at every point of the day. I have books and books everywhere. So I would think don't be selfish, time management, and take ownership and responsibility of other people's feelings, which are your little people. Yes. That's what I call them, your little people's feelings. And again, you got to build a tribe around you. Build people that you can trust around you to, insinuate that they're going to assist you with your kids or, anything you do. What I chose to do, again, my kids' ages were different. So my oldest kind of took care of the youngest. In the process, it kind of led me, you know what I mean, to Mom, let's do this together. Let's build and grind together. Yep. So that's all I have to say, except in a good glass of wine.
Every night. This is something I do every night.
The wine definitely saves you. Like it mellows you out. Yes. Absolutely love the wine. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your journey on Traces of Mika. And thank you guys for tuning in to Traces of Mika, the other side of healing.
So I'm Monica Mo Elam. You can find me at Monica Mo Elam on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you go.
Everywhere.
That's where you'll find me.
I am Melody, owner and principal publicist for Melody PRM Group. You can find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, of course, Instagram, and also I'll be starting a new blog called Check Out My Melody, and you can find that.
I like that.
Like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. A little disclaimer then. Follow the pop off, on Saturdays.
You better shout it out. Yes.
Because we popping off. I'm just joking.
Not the
gang. I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Just have to, sneak that in there. And y'all know where y'all can find me at.
We're here in this yellow couch.
What we doing?
Tell them where they
Everything is my name. TamikaNewhouse.com and Cookie, a Fort Worth store. Some stores everywhere. But Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, TikTok.
Oh yeah,
TikTok
going down.
Well, you can't download no more on TikTok, but you can still be on it, right? Something like that. But for now, I'm on there. And I have a blog on my website, which is TamikaNewhouse.com.
Little brown girl, I just want you to know that your hair and your lips and your skin, melanin, it's all beautiful. Hey there, little brown girl, I just want you to know.